Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Agent Psycho, aka ToSniper98, and welcome back to another rendition of my monthly, account update series, whatever you want to call it. It's month number 7, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I could be, because my memory is fluky at times, but it should be month number 7. So, I'm actually doing this like a day or two early because I've got plans for New Year's, so I can't really make this video then. And also, this is a good time for me to before we get into actual, to see how my account is doing. Part of the video. This is a good time for me to tell you guys that the two other videos that I promised you with my that I mentioned at the end of my how to use Orion video, the how to use all the 4 stars video, and where at the updated where and how to find all the essential materials in the game video. Those two will have to come after New Year's because I just spent so much time grinding and getting all my servers up to par that I just ended up not having enough time to actually get started on working on those videos. I believe I've got almost all the gameplay that I need to make the videos. It's just I need to write the scripts for them, and I also need to edit them, put them together, and actually upload them up, of course. So those videos will have to come out next week. Yeah, technically next week, in the days before Saber Wars. I'm going to do my absolute best to try to get them out before Saber Wars, so that you guys, it doesn't obviously conflict with our next upcoming event, which is Saber Wars, in case you guys are living under a rock somehow. But anyways, that aside, now that I've talked about that, let's go ahead and take a look at my account, I guess, because y'all, that's what y'all are here for. So, unfortunately, I don't have every server in the game. If you're aware of my channel and what I've been up to, because I've been posting a lot of videos lately, like live streams, new videos, or whatever it may be, you guys should know that I don't have Jack. Jack is the only 5-star servant, actually, not just the only 5-star servant, but the only servant, period, that I don't have in the game. Jack has just eluded me. If you guys didn't know by now, because maybe this is the first video you guys are stumbling upon of mine, which I don't know how it would be, but, I'm not assuming anything here. I tried to blow about 900 bucks for Jack during her raid up during Christmas. I got MP5 a nursery rhyme instead, but no Jack. That number is probably a little bit inflated because I know for a fact that a lot of that cash was spent on just like AP refills so that I could farm the Christmas event, the Christmas nodes and whatnot, and farm the Christmas boxes over and over and over again. In case you guys are curious how many boxes I ended up farming, I got to a grand total of 131.5, and I say 0.5 because I had some socks left over. I just basically rolled the box until I just ran out of socks, and it came about to about a half a box with the leftover socks I had remaining. So 131.5. But in any case, I don't have Jack. The reason why I didn't go all out for her, the reason why I didn't pull a Zis, is because of the fact that I figured that since Jack is no longer limited as soon as London hits, I'm just gonna rely on her to spook me at some point, one way or another. That's basically my mentality going to the next month here in January of 2018, because obviously, since Jack is no longer limited, I don't really have to worry about her not ever getting here, because at some point with how much I roll and how much I wail, statistically speaking, I'm gonna get Jack sooner or later. And matter of fact, next month, or not even next month, next week, when Saber Wars does come out, MHX is an assassin, and Jack is also an assassin as well, so there's a chance that Jack might spook me then? Who knows? I'm not sure. But I'm just relying on her to just show up as a spook out of nowhere. If not, then I've got Valentine's to fall back on, I guess, when she has her raid up along with Nero Bride. But yeah, that's my situation with Jack right now. Other than her, I've got basically everyone else. As you guys can see, the ones who aren't the ones who are highlighted because they're not technically maxed out yet, quote unquote. I got Mordred, Tesla, Arjuna, I finally managed to send my waiver all the way up to level 90, so thank God he's no longer level 70 now. Stuck there for like 6 months, 5 or 6 months, and now finally with London coming out, raises level to 90 real quick. You know, I can tell you that for a fact. But yeah, that's they're looking pretty good there. Looking pretty good. Mordred, Arjuna, and Tesla are all MP1. I don't really feel the need to like MP2 them. Maybe Tesla because he's technically story locked, and outside of raid ups, he can't just spook you. So I do feel a little bit bad about that. But that being said, considering it took me 700 or something, 733 quartz just to summon him alone, MP1, I feel like, you know, that probably would have been a good time to stop by the way anyway. If you guys didn't see that video of me pulling Tesla on my very last 30 world or multi-world that I was willing to do for him, go check it out. I think I have a stream highlights video for him up on my channel somewhere that you can find. Arjuna and Karna were a lot nicer to me, thankfully. I pulled both of them and an MP5 Salter. Technically MP6, but I already had Salter MP2 before I started rolling for anyway, back when I rolled for Kintoki, so there's that. But yeah, within 234 quartz, I managed to summon 4 Salters and Arjuna and Karna together. So I think that's a very fucking good deal, considering how bad my luck is with whaling most of the time. So I'm very happy with that. I also spent the majority of the last 2 days grinding out the rest of Tesla's and Arjuna's essential materials and their XP cards because earlier today at the time of this recording it was Archer and Caster Daily as far as the XP cards go. So grinded the shit out of those and got both of them up to 90 instantly as soon as I got all the essential materials. I talked about Salter already. She's now MP5. Let's just go ahead and take a look at her just in case you guys don't believe me for whatever reason. There she is, MP5. Saber War is coming up, so my Saber load is already up to snuff. You guys probably knew that already from my last video, or the last rendition of this series. Lancer Alter. So Lancer Alter, I got her MP4 while rolling for Tesla. She was very kind to me. I've now after rolling for Lancer Alter and Karna, I have this theory that Lancers are very, very nice to me, because if you remember, well, let me just scroll up here to show you guys my Shisho, my Skahawk. If you guys remember my highlights video that I made for the time when I rolled for Skahawk back in Thanksgiving, she was really nice to me. I got her MP3 within like 400 quartz or so, and that's very, very lucky, especially for me, like I said. And she's a Lancer. Now, if we go take a look at like Liz, my Liz is also MP5. She was MP4 for a very long time, but then with one of my recent whaling sessions, I think from last month, maybe it was actually while I was whaling for Jack, I finally managed to MP5 her. So, and Lancer Alter, obviously she's MP4. I also, in the same highlights video that I made for Tesla, you guys can see that I pulled Lancer Alter 4 times in a row. So my Lancer luck is extremely good compared to everyone else. All the raid up Lancers all the gold Lancers who have been on raid up in this game so far have always come to me, no matter what. I think, at least within recent memory, as far as going far back as Skahawk, Lancer Alter, now Karna. Karna is not leveled up right now. He's only at level 1, unfortunately. He's down here because I've been concentrating my efforts on getting both Tesla and Arjuna up at the same time, because Lancer Daily, XP Daily isn't going to come up for another 2 days at the time of this recording, so worked on people whose XP days were coming up first. But in any case, my Lancer luck is very, very good. I believe someone told me when I was streaming my Lancer Alter and Tesla whaling session that most people have this one specific class where when they try to whenever they're whaling, that one specific class always loves them no matter what. And it looks like it looks like the Lancers are it for me, if that theory is indeed true, if you believe it, if you choose to believe in it anyway. And assuming that I, do believe in it, it would seem that, logically speaking, the Lancer class is my class. Which makes sense, because the Lancer class is typically a class full of people who have really shitty luck, and me being an F-rank luck whale makes sense. Anyways, Lancer Alter is extremely powerful, by the way. I used her for a little bit for Rider Daily, or for Rider farming, even though she's a Lancer and she doesn't have class advantage. But even with her skills at level 4 or 5, she can wreck people. Like, if you didn't roll for Lancer Alter and you wanted to, I really feel bad for you, because Lancer Alter is definitely worth it. Let me tell you, she's worth it. If you don't care for her, then that's fine. It's just, she's really worth it. If you do have her, do try to level her up as quickly as possible, because she's a beast. Let's just put it that way. Nursery Rhyme, if last month, or actually I didn't even have Nursery Rhyme last month, but Nursery Rhyme was sitting at level 60 until London, and now earlier today, I managed to get her up to level 80 finally. And same with Frankenstein, as I like to call her, Frank. I know a lot of people prefer calling her Fran, but I call her Frank, just because. I hope that doesn't trigger you. If it does, then I'm sorry. But I got my Frank Max as well. Unfortunately, she's still MP1, but I believe, just like Mordred, she is not limited, so I'll just depend on her to just constantly spook me in the future. Talmo Cat, I believe I'd already got to level 80 before, so I think she's okay. As far as everyone else who I'm ascended, I believe Fister. I believe I've ascended my Fister. Who else? Maybe my Alex. Was my Alex level 70 last month? I don't think so. So in case he wasn't, Alex, Fister, who else? Phantom, of course, Phantom. I actually maxed Phantom because, as you may or may not know, I actually use Phantom as part of my Rider farming team. And he's actually surprisingly good because Phantom not only obviously has the class advantage, but he's the only assassin in the entire game right now who has an AoE MP. The next one who has an AoE MP, I believe, is it might actually be Shootin' Doji. As strange as that might sound, I could be wrong, obviously. And I also know that Matahari also has an AoE MP, but it doesn't do damage. It's like a status effect MP, so I don't really count her. So yeah, Phantom is the only AoE MP that we have in the game at the moment, and he's a 2-star. So a little bit ironic, I guess, but because of that, and because of the fact that his charm skill actually comes in quite handy sometimes when you're dealing with like the boss servants like Marie or Boudica, who shows up with her sometimes. Like a lot of the servant bosses in the Rider dailies are female, like Marie, Boudica, who's the other one I'm thinking of? Martha. Like, they're all females, so because Phantom has a charm skill that it works against them, it actually comes in clutch sometimes. It doesn't work all the time, obviously, but that's just how charm skills work at the end of the day. So he's been very good to me, and now that London's here, I finally managed to max him to 65, and thank God, because he does so much more damage now. Ugh. Other than that, I believe that's about it as far as like all my other max servants go. The reason why I haven't been able to work on my lower tier servants is because of the fact that I've just been trying to concentrate on like all my high tier units first, which is what I usually do anyway because I'm a fucking big fat whale. And even before that, the first weekend that London did come out, as soon as I cleared the story, even before I cleared the story campaign, I just farmed the Clerkenwell and I farmed Hyde Park for gears and pages respectively, because after my first priority was to get Waver to 90, like first priority before anything else, get Spineless Whiny Bitch to 90. After that, I farmed a total of 132 pages in a row for these two right here, Media Lily and Tomo. This was my first plan going into London, other than get Waver to 90 immediately, was to grind out enough pages to get Media Lily and Tomo their skills all the way up to 10-10-10. And after it took me a whole weekend to do it, but I did it. And that's 132 fucking pages. Media Lily needed it needed like 60, I believe. and Tamamo needed 72 or something fucking ridiculous like that. And there you go. They both have maxed out skills now, and because I like them a lot, so yeah, these two right here are the reasons why I've not been able to farm items or the rest of the essential materials for everyone else. I do plan on eventually doing that because now that London's here, basically I can ascend it. Theoretically speaking, I can ascend everyone now, and I definitely, like I said, I definitely plan on doing that. It's just that the first half, the latter half of this month, as soon as London came out, I had a lot of other things to concentrate on, or a lot of other things that I wanted to concentrate on in game. But now that the brunt of the work has been done, now I can I can basically have as much time as I want to make sure the rest of my lower tier servants are up to par. That being said, though, Saber Wars is next week, so that might also be postponed. But I know for a fact that there are nodes that drop gears. I don't know if there are nodes that drop pages, but gears definitely. So anyone who needs the gears, I'll be able to take care of in due time anyway. But yeah, that's about it. I know for a fact this video is going on for way longer than I wanted to, but yeah, that's pretty cool. Unfortunately, I can't continue my streak of having every single servant in the game, but considering, like, after sitting down and thinking about it for a little bit, because I do pride myself on you know, having a very strong account, obviously, because I care a lot about this game. But after thinking about it, it's not so bad not having one servant. I'm not gonna beat myself up over it, because if you really think about it, having, like, rolling on just about every single major banner that this game's ever had, and more or less getting everyone except for one servant, is still at the end really fucking good luck. Despite, you know, how much I had to spend for them, it's still really good luck. And just missing one servant as a price for it, and besides that said, the one servant that I'm missing isn't even, like, limited anyway. Really good luck. I feel very, very fortunate to be able to have an account that looks something like this. But yeah, I'll end it there. So thank you guys very much for watching, and like I said, the videos on the 4-star servants and the new updated video on where to you know, find and farm all the essential materials in the game now that London's out and all the new revamped dailies are out will come out sometime before Saber Wars, hopefully, crossing my fingers. But if they don't, then just expect them to come out sometime within within the first few days of Saber Wars. I'm not promising anything here because I got a life too. As much as you guys like to think that I grind all day, all night, which, I mean, I technically do, but I still do have a life outside of FGO. But yeah, as soon as I say that, no, you don't. But yeah, thanks for watching, and hopefully next month I will get my hands on Jack, and if not next month, then sometime during Valentine's when I roll for a Nero Bride and Jack. But or maybe she could just spook me and troll me by showing up instead of MHX. But anyways, thank you guys very much for watching, and hopefully you guys are prepared for Saber Wars, and once Saber Wars comes, you guys enjoy that event. And yeah, that's all I've got to say. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Really